Xenoverse 2 allows you to play as 8 different classes across 5 races, which is best for each playstyle. I have 8 level 99 characters, all skills unified, all body types and heights reset with the Dragonballs, all attributes removed, no clothing or QQ bangs. This is the raw character data. I will prove once and for all which is the best race for tankiness, regen, speed and damage. This is my ultimate CAC guide for Dragonball Xenoverse 2. Super damage. First, let's go over the excluded transformations. Power Pole Pro, because it changes your moveset, which we can't test reliably. Become Giant, because it changes your moveset, which we can't test reliably. And finally, Purification, because it changes your moveset, and we can't test it reliably. Now, let's get on to the most awaited super damage test. Starting with the Ki Blast damage with a Freeze Raise character. I'm going to test one super and one ultimate Ki Blast move that only hits once to make sure the testing is as reliable as possible. So our results are in. The Ki Blast Thrust does 2250 and Giant Stomp does 6750. Now time for the male human. 2100 for the Ki Blast Thrust and Giant Storm does 6300 damage. Now it's time for the female human. Let's see what her Ki Blast damage is like. And her base form results are Ki Blast Thrust does 2362 and Giant Storm does 7087. Now time for the male margin. 2137 for his Ki Blast Thrust and Giant Storm will do 6412 damage, giving us these results. Now it's time for the female margin. At the end of this episode, we will know conclusively which race in the game is best for Ki Blast damage and which is best for strike damage. But for now, we're just going for the Ki Blast damage, and the Ki Blast Thrust for the female margin does 2100 and 6300 for Giant Storm. Now time for the Namekian. Severely crippled when it comes to damage, but not when it comes to stats. I'm not expecting him to get any sort of decent results here. 2137 for Ki Blast Thrust and 6412 for his Giant Storm. Now time for the Male Saiyan. A race not known for its Ki Blast damage, but, you know, it does okay, so it'll be interesting to see what the results are. He's got 2137 for his Ki Blast Thrust and 6412 for his Giant Storm. Now time for the Female Saiyan, one of the top contenders for the top damage for Ki Blast. Let's see how she does. 2400 for Ki Blast Thrust and Giant Storm does 7200 damage. Now we're going to plot all of our results onto our table with 2 relevant transformations. The favourites throughout the community seem to be that the Freeze Raise character, the female human and the female Saiyan are the best for Ki Blast damage, but which is best for which? We're going to answer this now. So our relevant transformations are Golden Form and Potential Unleashed for the Freeze Raise character. Every race gets Potential Unleashed and Kaioken except for the Saiyans, which get Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan and Super Vegeta. In base form, the female Saiyan is the king, with second place going to the female human and third place going to the Freeze Raise character. The most relevant transformation first time, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, female Saiyan is king, second place is Golden Form, Freeze Raise character, third place is female human, Potential Unleashed. And with the second transformations, the Freezer Race character and female human switch around their positions. This gives us our points, but the Saiyans get a racial attribute bonus that when they're on low health, they get additional attack damage, which does increase their Ki Blast, so this will increase the scores thusly. So, in first place is the female Saiyan, being the best character in the game for Ki Blast damage. Second place is the female human. Third place, barely in third place, is the Freezer Race character. One of 2 questions have been answered. Now it's time for the Strike Super Damage test, starting off with the Freezer Race character. We will be using Savage Strike and Burning Strike for our single hit strike moves to analyze which is the best race for Strike Super Damage in this game. Coming up with a low unimpressive score is the Freezer Race character, unsurprisingly. Now it's time for one of the favourites, the male human. Let's see how he does for damage. Savage Strike does 2362 damage while Burning Strike does 5433. Now it's time for the female human, not known for her strike damage, so I'm not expecting anything ridiculous. Savage Strike for the female human does 2100 damage while Burning Strike does 4830. Not impressive, but not terrible. Now it's time for the male margin, obviously known for his high strike damage, as well as speed. Let's not expect anything too much. 2137 for Savage Strike and 4916 for Burning Strike. Not amazing, but not terrible. Now it's time for the female margin. One of the favourites. Let's see her damage output. Not disappointing. She gets 2400 for Savage Strike and 5520 for Burning Strike. That'll be difficult to beat, but now it's time for the Namekian. Winner of this year's Stretchy Arms competition, as well as fastest character, as well as strongest character, as well as hardest hit. Yeah, no, maybe not. Savage Strike does 2137 and Burning Strike does 4916. Now it's time for the Male Saiyan. Known for his strike damage, but how good is it? Let's find out. Disappointingly, his results are quite average. And now it's time for the Female Saiyan. Not known for her strike damage, but we'll see how she does. 2250 for Savage Strike and Burning Strike does 5175. We're going to put all of these results on our graph, find the totals, find the best for strike damage, and then add up everything together to find the best for absolutely all super damage. First, we're going to add together all of their results for base forms and all of the super transformations I have done off screen so it won't be boring. We're going to use Golden Form, Potential Unleashed again for the free-to-race character, Potential Unleashed and Kaioken for every race except the Saiyans that get Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan and Super Vegeta yet again, just to keep it kind of consistent. And unsurprisingly, in base form, the female margin is the best for strike super damage. Second place, just coming second, is the male human. Third place is the female Saiyan, quite surprisingly. Transformed though, she takes the gold with Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, as OP as it is, giving her the gold for strike super damage in their primary transformations. But when you go back to Super Vegeta, the female margin takes the gold yet again with 9108 points in Kaioken, giving us these total results. Additionally, the Saiyans get their racial attribute bonus again because the Ki Blast damage and Strike Super damage are different forms of damage, so I thought it relevant to give them their bonus again. This will alter the points thusly and give us our final results. The best Strike Super damage classes in the game are the female margin joint with the female Saiyan. Very shocking. Second place is the male human, and third place is the male Saiyan because of his racial attribute bonus, and Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan is ridiculous. Let's add up all our points and find out which is the best super class in the game. It's time to nut up or shut up. In 8th place with 23 points is the Namekian, being the weakest for super damage. In 7th place with 27 points is the male margin. In 6th place with 29 points is the female human let down by her strike damage. In 5th place is the Frieza race character let down by strike damage with 30 points, 1 ahead of the female human. In 4th place with 31 points, 1 point ahead again is the male human. Because of his double racial attribute bonus, the male Saiyan takes 3rd place with 32 points. He hasn't got great stats, but again, that attribute bonus really helps. In 2nd place with 34 points is the female margin because of her excellent strike super damage and OK super damage. But our champion for Ki Blast and strike super damage combined is the female Saiyan with 52 ridiculous points in 1st place. Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan is a ridiculous transformation. So to sum up everything we've seen, the female Saiyan is the king of super damage because she has the best Ki Blast damage in her base form, has decent strike damage, has a racial attribute bonus that gives her increased damage when she's on low health, and has a super OP Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan transformation which increases all damage. The female margin takes 2nd place mainly because she has the highest strike super damage in her base form, while the male Saiyan has a ridiculous Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan transformation yet again, has average Ki and strike super damage, and shares the female Saiyan's racial attribute bonus. This has been the super damage section of my Ultimate CAC Guide, a series in which I aim to definitively prove once and for all which is the best race for health, defense, Ki and stamina regen, speed and damage. The next episode will be going over everything we've seen so far and finding out the best race in general. Until then, stay tuned for the next exciting episode of AxoniusRex.